Thank you. You're in Canada. Where else are you guys joining us from? So officially, this is our mind-body training. We are going to be doing a very quick cooking demo. We're going to make sauerkraut to really build up that natural source of probiotics rather than taking a supplement. But really, I wanted to bring you in to share this amazing hypnotherapist with you, specifically focused on the gut. And I'm just so grateful that you're joining us today, Linda.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be making some special things today, and we're going to dive deep into the mind-body connection, into digestive health. Yes, I'm excited for it.
So before we get started with any of this, let's just share how we met, because it was really special that we did get our paths crossed and it felt so aligned. So just seeing where you guys are joining us from, the Bay Area, Texas, the known universe. I love it. Sonoma County, David, amazing. New York City, Pennsylvania, awesome. Maryland, very, very cool. So many beautiful places in the world. Well, we are here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico.
Yes.
And I actually visited for a few weeks last June and was visiting with the intention that I might move here, at least for the winter, and wanted to just see what it would be like, right, to live outside of the country. And Linda happened to be the very first person I met on that trip. And it was just really beautiful because I had recently learned about hypnotherapy and was studying with another friend of mine, but I hadn't met anyone else aside from him. And I had a feeling, and I had heard that you could heal the body with hypnotherapy. But Linda, being an expert in gut-directed hypnotherapy, was my first wow, and I couldn't wait to experience her work. And it was actually some time before I did get to experience it myself, just because I was so busy. But that's the way life is, we just get so busy doing everything, and taking time to really heal our bodies and our guts included is something that it's easy to just put off. You put on the back burner, we'll get to it. And there's no better time than now to heal the gut, right? The gut why is the gut so important?
The gut
compared to the rest of the body. We talk about the gut as being, it's like the second brain.
It is the second brain. It's encased in 100 million neurons. And so your gut is responsible for so many things. It's where the majority of our serotonin, about 90% of our body's serotonin, is stored in the gut. It's so connected to mental health, anxiety, depression. They show that the gut yes. Just me that.
Yeah.
Yes, it's essentially it's one of the biggest pieces of our overall health and well-being. And I think that focusing on gut health helps everything work better. And that's really what we want to focus on. So I specialize really in the brain and the gut and how stress impacts the gut as well. But when it comes to our health, it really is a holistic approach. So nutrition, what you're putting in your body impacts it. What you're feeding your mind impacts it. Your stress, your nervous system, is all going to have an impact on it. So we want to find balance in these different areas to really thrive and be radiant in your health.
Absolutely. Did you hear that? How much impacts the gut? It's not just the physical. We're going to talk about food just slightly here today, but that mind-body connection is so critical.
Yeah.
And that's where I've really just expanded my own personal journey with my health, and also then carrying it over into what I do with food and what I do in coaching clients overall, because if they're so integrated, I can't fathom focusing on the food without incorporating the mind. That's how connected they are. That's how important it is. So speaking of the food, we have, just a couple of heads of cabbage here, purple cabbage and some green cabbage. What I wanted to do was give you a really quick demo of sauerkraut. And the reason is because probiotics are one of the ways that we nourish our gut.
Yeah,
Right.
it helps to improve the gut microbiome. When you have healthy gut microbiome, you can digest food better. It impacts your emotions, your mood, stabilization as well. And yeah, just overall things
Right.
digesting well
So
is so important.
how's the probiotics tie into the sauerkraut? Well, we get probiotics through fermented food. And when you can take a capsule, you can take a supplement, but it is not nearly as powerful as getting the probiotics from the whole foods and from the fermented food specifically.
That's
when
alive.
Yes,
really
it's
like
alive. And when you take a supplement, you're taking isolated probiotics. And they can be beneficial, especially if you're getting a high quality where there's many, many different strains, as many strains as possible, you know, in general. But it's an isolated supplement, just like taking vitamin A or vitamin C, vitamin E. They're all individual isolated nutrients packed in a capsule that your body then has to digest versus the food coming in whole, or the probiotics coming in through the food combined with the food. And then your body gets that whole package. It's taking in a whole ecosystem, whether it's taking in a whole food, you know, just like a fresh apple versus the nutrient in the apple, an isolated nutrient in the apple, like vitamin C, versus taking in sauerkraut, where it has all the nutrients from the food, but also all the probiotics versus a supplement. Night and day difference. Okay, so we're going to do a very quick demo and show you just how simple it can be. And then down the road, actually next month, I'm going to have another training of the magic of umami, which is one of my favorite trainings. Yeah, maybe you can come join us for a savory cooking class.
Yeah.
We're going to go deeper into fermentation within that course, because that's all about creating savoriness, and fermentation is one of the ways that we do that.
Yeah.
But today we just want to give you like the simplest demo, mainly because that's all it takes to get you started. And I need to get you started so that you can improve upon it, and that you can start like culturing it in your home so that you can start enjoying it and bringing it into your body. Okay. So really simply, what we're going to do is I'm going to set the purple aside. We're just going to do our green cabbage today. And we're going to put it into our food processor. I'm going to chop this into large chunks so that it can go in our food processor here. This is a Cuisinart. And I have in here, many of you are familiar with the food processors, but we are using the slicing blade here so that we are going to slice the cabbage. We want the cabbage shredded, but we're not using the shredding blade because the cabbage is already layered. It already has one layer in it. If you use the shredding blade, it's just going to make it too thin, too small of pieces. Okay, so we've got the slicing blade, and I'm gonna open it up. We're gonna put these pieces in here, and they've just got to be small enough so that the top of the food processor will hit the bottom, and we can get this. Yeah. We have to. We have to empty this first before we can put any more in. So I'm gonna actually, we want to wash our hands once more before we touch the food, because we don't want any unhealthy bacteria. Wash this. Okay. So we're gonna put this into our jar here. And yeah, just a quick note, because you might be, thinking about the cleanliness. We don't want any of that bad bacteria to grow. We want to culture the good bacteria. And I hate those terms, good and bad, right? We want to promote the guys that are going to give us that health that we're looking for. So you might be thinking you need to sanitize, but you actually don't need to sanitize the jars. That we don't want to remove. It's not necessary to like make an antibacterial surface. We can just clean. We can use hot water and soap is actually enough. And occasionally, like with your countertops, if you're doing fermentation on a regular basis, if you want to sanitize with some hot water and vinegar, that works really well, but you don't need to worry about sterilizing. Sanitizing is okay, but sterilizing, I wouldn't encourage you to go that far unless, you're doing large scale or even medium scale food production or something like that. But for the most part, a simple wash is good. And then occasionally just sanitizing with some vinegar. Okay. So that just makes it a little bit simpler and hopefully, removes a barrier that you might think you need to have everything really, really clean and sterilized and everything. Not necessary. Okay. So let's put our cabbage into the jar here. I'm just going to use. And I've got this big jar here. I just found at a culinary store, and it's just down the road. Actually, quite a far ways to walk, but you can use a standard mason jar. You can use just a quart mason jar. This is a half gallon, about a half gallon jar.
To be glass.
Yes, glass will be best. I do not recommend using a plastic jar. So you can find the jars at thrift shops, Target, even the grocery store often has a section, an aisle with culinary pieces. We don't even need to process the rest of this. And we've got so much here. So we want to fill this mostly full, but we do want to pack it down. And we're going to put an actual, no, we forgot one step.
What is it?
I mix the salt.
Oh, it is.
Good job.
Yeah.
So we're just going to dump this. Actually, we need to have a bowl for that. So we're going to dump it out and add our salt. Now, I didn't mention that this is a salt-free sauerkraut. It's not. We're going to do salt here. In the magic of umami, when I go deeper into fermentation, we'll have a whole hour-long 90-minute class on fermentation, and I'll give you salt-free options at that point. But now we're just going to add in about 2 teaspoons of the salt. Actually, I'm going to do half a tablespoon, which is 1.5 teaspoons. Okay, and we're going to massage it in. Massage it in. You want to do this?
I can do this. Yeah.
Excellent. So work it in there.
Will it kind of start to get more like soft?
Yeah,
Like,
so
you'll feel it?
the juices will start to be released. Has anyone made sauerkraut before? Let us know in the comments. Cheryl is disappointed it's not salt-free. I know, I'm sorry. That just takes a little bit more intention, and I haven't experimented too much. Sauerkraut's fairly new to me as well for fermentation. And I know it's possible to do salt-free fermenting, but it's a trickier process. So I'm using, my favorite salt is real salt. Have you ever heard of real salt?
No.
It is actually, I don't know the exact state, but I think it's somewhere like Wyoming, somewhere in the northwest of the states, not Washington, but up near Washington.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic because it's local. So they make it right there. It's sourced right there. And that's more local than getting Celtic salt from Ireland,
Yeah.
or the Himalayan salt, which are all great options.
Yeah.
But the real salt is the best, closest we have for those in the States. Redmond Company. Yes, exactly, Maggie. Utah is it. Thank you. I don't know why I always forget Utah. So not ordinary table salt, no. And for multiple reasons, it doesn't have all the minerals, but more importantly, it is pure table salt is sodium chloride. And that salt is more addictive. It gets to our brain.
Really?
And it is more addictive like white sugar.
It hits the pleasure.
That's
spots.
why table salt is so like chips, you know, once you have one, you just can't stop. Okay, that
So
looks really good.
It's getting very
Can
like
you see
liquidy.
it? We didn't give you a little shot beforehand, but it already
Yeah.
looks more like sauerkraut.
Yeah, it releases water.
And so we're gonna put this back in our jar. And actually, once it's been massaged, we could actually put
You could
in
probably
more.
put more.
So. Okay. Let's do a quick Q&A before we dive into the rest of the training. You guys if you have any questions, I might have missed a question, but rather than scroll up, or do you want to actually scroll up and see?
Yeah.
But if you want to unmute yourself and ask any questions, I love hearing from you.
Salt.
Could you clarify the salt you actually should be using?
Yes, any form of sea salt. Real Salt is the company, maybe Maggie, you're there, Maggie. I'd be so grateful if you share the website to the Real Salt, but Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, sea salt, you just want something that's not a processed, refined table salt. So it has more of the minerals, and if you have any black lava salt, do not use that. Does anyone know what black lava salt is?
I thought it had charcoal in it. It was like salt with charcoal.
Oh. It's actually, it tastes sulfury, and that's what we use to make eggs in the vegan world. So some of you might have black lava salt. That is not an option. But I'm going to be testing omelets shortly, and that's when you would use it to make omelets.
Okay, so it's not bad.
So I'm just playing with you guys.
Right. It's just not ideal to use for fermenting.
Yeah, it would make it taste like eggs.
Oh no.
You don't want your cabbage tasting like, you know, sulfur.
No.
So, yes, it'd be like eggy salsa. Eggy.
Don't see any.
So you can add sugar to sauerkraut. It gives it, you know, that sweetness in our world. Actually, let's make more.
I think
Can
we should
do
make more because
Yeah,
like it like halves in size once you massage it.
I want to add in some purple too.
Because it'll make it all like multicolored.
Yeah,
I think that would be nice.
but you can press this. Make sure you put that on top.
This goes
Yeah,
this way, right?
Oh.
Or this way.
Let's just take out that big piece. And then the lid goes on. Yep. Processors are like puzzles.
Okay.
So I just finished a 7-day salad challenge today. Actually, tomorrow's day 7, but if anyone participated in that, thank you. Yeah, you can
I press what button?
turn it on. Hi. So Annette, we had all new salads this time. You could have participated again. But we'll do it again. Yes, the voice is going in and out, probably because of the food processor.
I think the food processor.
I'm gonna mute myself really fast. Let me know. Do you have any questions about the sauerkraut? How long it's gonna sit for? Any of those good questions? Yes, I wanted to be muted just because the food processor and someone was saying the voice was going in and out. And I thought this might be really loud, so. She's just going to add in
One teaspoon, 2 teaspoons.
1.5 teaspoons. We're doing 1.5 teaspoons of salt for 1 full container of the food processor, which is, I think it's a 12-cup container. Yes, Google salt-free recipe, let me know what they say. Personally, I'm not salt-free, so if you haven't been following along with my journey, there's an update for you. But my recipes still are 99% of the time, and I don't cook with salt 99% of the time. I don't use it in my preparation, but I am not 100% SOS free. Do you rinse the cabbage after slicing? No, you don't need to rinse the cabbage after slicing. You want to rinse it beforehand, but the cabbage is so tightly packed together on its own, you're not going to have anything within the cabbage that needs rinsing. Okay. 1.5 teaspoons for, like I said, yeah, about 12 cups of the cabbage. So we did 1.5 teaspoons here, but honestly, our last batch, we wanted to mix it all together so it's more even. We'll dump the green into there. Then we don't need to probably add the, because I don't have a lot of salt in my diet. I don't want to add too much. So we're not going to add it to the last amount.
Okay.
There we go. Thank you for joining. Thank you all for joining. So 1 tablespoon of salt for 1 head, exactly. We're doing more than 1 head, but
Yeah.
it was about, yes, 1 tablespoon for 1 head.
So since we're putting salt in that one, how do you want us to?
Let's pour
Maybe a
that
different
like
bowl.
onto, we'll just dump that into another bowl.
Or I just switch.
Because this one's larger, it's easier for you not to too much of a mess. You guys, I'm so excited for this sauerkraut and for our hypnotherapy session. Let me know in the comments if you guys have ever, because we're going to switch to that topic in a minute. Well, shifting.
Yeah, think
In
of your
transition.
questions, if you have any
But
questions about
We're
it.
going to do a meditative session. She's going to explain the difference between meditation and hypnotherapy, but we want to answer some questions before we go into it, and then we'll answer more afterwards. Okay.
Mhm.
So let me see if I missed any other questions. Oh, interesting, Annette. I didn't realize that Zoom automatically mutes you when they sense a food processor. That's awesome. Huh. Very, very cool. The little
I didn't know
things
that
that make a difference. Okay. Regina, I actually shared a lot about being not being SOS free 100% in the salad challenge. If anyone joined us, especially on day 5, when we talked about the energy center, I
Yeah.
was talking about how important it is to communicate your truth.
Mhm.
And oh my God, this is so, so important. So I've been on a deep healing journey with healing my thyroid, and I was SOS free very proudly, and I loved it for years. But naturally, I just shifted the last couple of years to just not having the labels. It's not meaning that that I've added a lot of salt or oil or sugar into my diet. It's more about the label than anything. I just don't want to put myself in that box. Yes,
Yeah.
being someone that Linda works with the mind, and
Mhm.
basically the psychosomatic experiences. And
The
what,
mind and the body are so connected, and how we're thinking and feeling it mirrors in the body as well. So you're noticing in your throat, for example, with not speaking your truth.
oh, Jennifer, yes, you can. I have, my setting is only on the speaker view. So the recording will be that way, but if yours is showing up, it's in the top right corner, usually on Zoom, where you can switch between the gallery and the speaker. Thanks, Annette, and anyone else for helping out with that. Yes, no boxes, and just embracing intuitive eating. And intuitive eating doesn't have to mean that I eat animals and plants, although it, it could, but it doesn't mean that I have to choose unhealthy food and healthy food, and that I get to have cheat days and like go off the wagon whenever I want to. It's about eating what feels best to you and eating intuitively. And as you build your awareness and your consciousness, which is what my approach is now, is helping people with attachment and addiction in the world realm of food. It's more about building our consciousness and building our awareness rather than getting really strict about what we're putting in. You can't have this, you can't have this. It's like, let's tap into our intuition.
Yeah, because I don't know if I work with a lot of people that struggle with IBS, and a lot of people will notice one day they eat something, they're totally fine. The next day they eat the exact same thing and their body reacts horribly. And so it's more than just the food. There's deeper layers
So much more.
around
And
it.
we really don't have too much time to go into such an amazing field to be in and helping people in this way. Okay,
The purple releases a bit less water. But
should we just layer them in?
I think we layer them. We'll make a little.
Wait, and we gotta, this one doesn't have any salt in it. That was
Right.
why it didn't, so the one without the salt didn't break down as much, but
that
by
makes
mixing
sense.
these all together, then we will have salt in all of it.
Okay, that's
And so we've got almost 2 heads, a little less than 2 full heads, just a little less, and one of them was bigger than the other. So we could say we have 2 full heads of cabbage with just 1 tablespoon of salt.
Yeah.
Awesome, Jamie. I'm so happy for you to find that intuitive eating and what feels really good for you. Instead of a food processor, don't use a Vitamix. Vitamix will blend unless you have the option of like pulsing, but even then it would not be, it'd be overly processed. So if you want to just use a handheld grater, or you can just slice your cabbage really thinly, both of those options would work.
Yeah.
But that looks really good.
It's a nice
Like
texture,
all
like
purple.
this. Yeah.
So now we're gonna put it in here.
My hands are already covered in cabbage.
And wanted to see if we can put a weight in here.
Do you have something that
No.
we could use?
This is the only thing that we can fit in here.
Yeah.
Okay. So any questions? Intuitive eating, yes. And we should, whether, even if you're 100% plant-based, 100% SOS free, you identify with the terms, the labels, vegan, all of that, I would still recommend intuitive eating, right? It's not one or the other. You can do all of it. But listening to your intuition. How to activate CC. What's CC stand for? Not sure what that stands for, Debbie. So we might need the second jar.
I think we will, but do you want to leave space at the top?
Yeah, we want to leave some
Like
space at the top, and I'm gonna put a weight. I'm gonna put a weight in here.
So what's the reason for the weights that you put on top?
I'm gonna do a deep conversation about fermentation, but the cabbage is going to create juices. Its own juice is going to be released. The weight helps to weigh it down, so eventually the cabbage will be sitting within its own juice. Right? And so we're gonna put a lid. We can put our lid on here and we're gonna leave it on the countertop. And every day you have to open the lid and just release the air, release the
Oh, okay.
gases. And so if you don't want to screw on your lid, you could just put a clean paper towel over it, or like a cheesecloth. You could put a cheesecloth that has the openings,
Mhm.
and then just put a paper, like maybe a rubber band around the cheesecloth, so that you have that air can escape on its own. You don't have to worry about opening the container. But
Okay,
so we've got
quite a bit.
we'll see how this goes.
It's a little messy, but it's good.
So, we've got a lid here. And I don't have to. These are not mason jar. So they've got a different lid. And I'm gonna wait to put the weight on. I think.
Yeah.
Let's put a weight on one of them. To be totally honest, this is my first time making sauerkraut.
It's also my first time making sauerkraut.
Because, like I'm saying, the reason for giving it to you too in the super simple recipe is just to get you started.
Mhm.
And that's what I wanted to do for myself as well. And then I'm gonna just have so much fun experimenting.
That's
And
so easy.
so easy.
And saves you a lot of money too, because cabbage and everything, doing it this way,
It's
it's so
healthier.
much cheaper to combine.
Now, one thing I'll note is your temperature. You want to have a good temperature. Like, I think just room temperature
Yeah,
between 65, 75,
yeah.
or maybe between 60 and 70. You don't want it to be too hot. So we're here in Mexico.
It's more tricky.
I
right?
thought I'd be able to like put it out in the sun and it'll go faster, or maybe by the window and it'll go faster, but you don't want that. You can actually, it's more risky and you develop unhealthy bacteria. So what we want is just to keep it at, in this cool space. I have the air condition on, so it'll stay cooler. If you're, in the States, it may not be warm where you are. You can just have it in your room temperature home on the kitchen countertop. And if you have a lid on it like this, we're just going to make sure that we open it on a daily basis. And it's going to take about 4 weeks to really develop, 3 to 4 weeks to develop into that sauerkraut. And you can taste it throughout to see what you like. You can stop it early if you want to, but. Any questions before we move on? We're going to do a nice soothing meditation. I'm so excited to just relax and feel really good in my gut, right? So let's see. What have I done so far, George? In regards to the fermentation, you might have to watch the replay. Oh, closed captioning. I will have to look into that closed captioning. I didn't know that I had a setting that was turned off for that.
I don't know if that is either.
I know, Jeff, I never use an apron. I don't know. It never resonated with me. No water added. A cabbage leaf. Oh, a cabbage leaf. I'm not sure what you're meaning exactly, but a cabbage leaf would work great instead of the parchment paper here that I put under. I don't know if we actually have any, but
I think
probably
we
have.
used all the cabbage. Yeah.
we might have tossed some of those bigger, dirty outside pieces. Oh, you put it on top of the fridge in the winter time. Nice. Okay. Yes, thank you all so much for sharing. It's just so fantastic to engage with you. Oh, I love that you're here, and I love being able to connect and share my journey and a little bit of fun, deliciousness like this. And now the hypnotherapy session. So I think we'll move over to our couch.
Get nice and comfy.
Take out of the, get out of this kitchen space. But if you have any questions before we dive into our training, ask them here. I'm going to read them and we'll go get set up. But has anyone, a couple questions for you. Have you ever done anything like hypnotherapy? Hypnosis? If you're familiar with that, if you've seen a stage hypnosis, let me know in the comments. What we're doing is very different. Hypnotherapy is not stage hypnosis, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of
You wanna plug this in?
common, but this we want to put in once we do the
Okay.
actual thing,
Okay.
but for now we can use that.
And we'll just
So-
use this.
Oh yeah, on stage. So a lot of people have an idea of hypnosis being like stage hypnosis, or they see it on TV, in movies, and really it paints hypnosis in a very mysterious way, almost like mind control. But what hypnotherapy is the therapeutic use of these deeper states of mind. Think of them like alterations in our brainwave states for healing. We can access the subconscious mind when we go within and when we relax and enter these deeper states. It enables us to shift beliefs, patterns. It enables us to communicate with the body. It allows us to address the brain-gut connection. I mean, you can use hypnotherapy for so many different things. I specialize in gut-directed hypnotherapy specifically, but it helps people quit smoking, lose weight, reduce social
Mhm.
anxiety, get over fears and phobias,
So
like public
When you
speaking.
say it takes us into these deeper mind states,
Yeah,
what do we mean by that?
Yeah.
Like, can you share a little bit like the subconscious? Are we talking
we're
about?
talking about the subconscious, but not only the subconscious.
Okay.
So to demystify what hypnosis is,
And
every-
we might not know, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with even the subconscious.
yeah.
Maybe we explain that too.
which I can talk about, but
Okay.
totally.
Okay.
So a little bit about knowing like hypnosis is a natural state of mind that everybody goes into throughout the day. And that's what a lot of people don't realize. They think it's going to be something that's outside of their norm of experience. But I can give some examples of being in a state of trance, being in a state of hypnosis. When you're driving on the road,
Mm,
and you lose a sense of like where you were for the last 30 minutes. Like they call this highway hypnosis. In those moments, your subconscious mind, this deeper part of your mind, is what's driving the car, not your conscious mind.
Yeah, how many people have experienced that where they're just driving and they totally forgot, you know, that they were even in the car? You know,
Yeah,
your mind is just completely elsewhere and yet somehow you make it safe and sound.
totally. If you've done long road trips, you're just like, oh, that felt like an hour and 4 hours went by. Other examples are when you're in a state of inner absorption, in a state of flow, reading, getting lost in a book, in a TV show, doing something you
Oh,
love.
TV shows are a great example.
Yes.
Because people don't realize it. And there are so many people every single night, they go into hypnosis basically because
Yeah.
they're not in their own conscious mind. It's like they're in this story, this whole other world.
Yeah.
You know, behind the screen.
I know, but like my dad watches a lot of TV and we'll like talk to him and he just has he's so absorbed in the TV. He has no like awareness that anybody's around him. So that's
One of my favorite ways to get into this trance state, which can we say it's the equivalent, hypnosis and
the
trance?
same
Are they
thing.
interchangeable?
they're the
Okay.
same thing. Yeah.
That trance state is in the shower.
Really?
Yeah, I take really long showers and it just gets me into like this flow, this creative zone
Yeah.
where I'm like totally checked out until I realize "Oh, that was a brilliant idea. Like I really, you know, love that
Yeah, you
idea.
get access
Mhm.
to more information.
Mhm. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Interesting. I haven't heard that. I know like running or even exercise can put you into these states.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right. Driving on a like long road trip, that can definitely happen. But you know what? Your subconscious mind is actually very intelligent. They say that it's responsible for up to 95% of your daily behavior, your emotions, your habits. And that's why it can feel at times like making a change can feel so difficult. Like consciously, you know, I should change this thing.
Mhm.
But on a subconscious level of the mind, it's still running the program. So even if consciously you think it,
No.
that's why the resistance, the challenge, the blockages that you can face is because your subconscious mind is not on board with the conscious level of change. And that's where we
Right.
want to make all parts of you.
Yeah,
aligned
we
with
actually
change.
have Yvonne here,
Yes.
is trained as a hypnotist. Amazing.
Oh,
And
beautiful.
someone else has trained in it decades ago. Karen's wondering where you did
Yeah.
your training.
I did my training in Canada. I'm from Canada. So I studied at the Coastal Academy of Hypnotic Arts and Science in Canada, in Vancouver.
Bonnie did past life regression. Yeah, that's a whole amazing field in itself.
Definitely.
Walking in
nature. Yes,
Good
definitely.
one.
So when you enter these states, I know that someone had asked the question before around what's the difference between meditation? What's the difference
yes.
between hypnotherapy? The difference is that hypnosis uses specific techniques and tools to directly get to these deeper states of mind. Whereas it has a very focused goal of what we're doing. Meditation can be guided, it can have these experiences, but it's not quite the refinement of these specific techniques that have been shown to be very effective.
And I was just thinking how in some meditation, you may be really focused on the breath, and yet you're not actually reaching the subconscious. You could be totally conscious and doing a breath meditation, breath-centered meditation, and not accessing those deeper states at all.
And
so
you
it's like
can.
overlap, but they're not necessarily one is the other. And
like
vice versa.
It's totally possible to enter very, very deep states of mind just with meditation alone. But let's say you have a problem, and I can give my personal problem. When I was younger, I really struggled with social anxiety. This was the reason I first went to a hypnotherapist. I had really bad anxiety. I'm really empathic. I felt uncomfortable being around all these different people. I just felt like it was overstimulating my nervous system. And I could meditate. I was meditating an hour a day at that time. It was not removing my social anxiety. I was becoming deeply relaxed. I was entering these like really amazing states of mind, but it was not directly getting to the root of my problem. That's why when you work with someone who can guide you, who can really get to the root in the subconscious mind and help you clear it, help you resolve it on a deeper level. I think I did 2-3 sessions on social anxiety. The other ones were kind of on something connected to that. By the end of it, 80% of my social anxiety just completely dissolved in those 2 to 3 sessions just on that. And it never came back. And that's what shifted me into the power of hypnosis, because I had been going my entire life feeling that and realizing I didn't need to be feeling that every day. And I know,
I just had an aha because I've dealt with social anxiety and I didn't know it was social anxiety until a few years ago. But that was the reason I would go towards like a matcha or a mocha. Anytime I had to work or engage with people, I wanted something to change my state. Something to shift my energy.
Like
a way to cope. Feeling like I wasn't enough or all these different reasons, but it was a coping mechanism. And I feel like I've healed that social anxiety. And this last year specifically, and I think it was partly through hypnotherapy, because I've been doing this training with different, a couple different people, but that wasn't ever the intention, but it was overall feeling of the intention was healing, the intention was wholeness, of love, of recognizing my, my essence and all these other beautiful aspects, that the anxiety just kind of left when I realized how much beauty and what I have to offer. Right. It's on that deeper level, because intellectually I've known that for years, but it's knowing it at the subconscious.
Because the subconscious is not at the intellectual level. And that's why you want it rooted, embodying within yourself. So it's your natural default state of being. It's just how you naturally are, as opposed to naturally having the anxiety.
We had a question about, are you also a clinical therapist?
Clinical hypnotherapist.
Okay.
Oh, that's wonderful. So she's as well. Wonderful.
What's that? Is between eating unprocessed whole plant foods and the ability to immerse oneself in the process of hypnosis. Interesting question.
It's a really interesting question. I can't say 100%, but just tuning into that when we clean out the body, when our body, because food, right? If you've ever done a detox, you know that it's not just physical. emotions get cleansed. You're like actually detoxing multiple bodies, not just the physical, the emotional, the mental body. So I would think if you're living a more healthy, unprocessed lifestyle, that you're more clear, and that not necessarily, but it can give you more access to your inner self, to your true self.
And actually, I
Yeah.
think that is a big piece of why, like after adopting a plant-based diet or healthy eating, we build more awareness, we have more self-awareness, and then more emotions come up, more thoughts come up, and we have more to deal with. So it's like, as you heal the physical, you're faced with more emotional and mental challenges. And it gives us this beautiful progression of our evolution and like the inner work to do.
Yeah.
And so it's like perfect timing to go into more of that subconscious work. Because it's like the physical we've taken care of, or to enlarge it, in large part, we've taken care of, and we're always continuing to heal on the physical level. But once you've done most of that work, it makes it easier to go into the deeper work. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely, that makes sense. Yeah.
And the chemicals, absolutely. I was telling
Yeah, with the nervous system, they do.
the hypnotist, the other friend that I have who will be on, I'm going to start a podcast, everyone. And you'll meet this person through the podcast. But I told him that, I should be working with his clients, because as you reduce the processed food and the neurotoxins or the excess of stimulants, even if it's a healthy food, but we have some food that's can be stimulating if it's had an excess. As you reduce that and calm the nervous system, you can go into a deeper trance.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for pointing this out.
But I do want to say, even if you have the healthiest diet in the world, if your mind isn't healthy, if you're chronically stressed, if you're like super anxious with your work and your relationships, all of
100%.
these things, it doesn't matter how good you eat. Your body is in a state of inflammation. Trauma causes inflammation, and so do these things. So I just want to mention that too. And
sure.
someone said here, Josie, that you're experiencing anxiety with social media and putting yourself out there. I help women with that. I actually work with that also. And so if you need help with that, reach out to me, because I can definitely help you with that.
Okay, I feel like we should have the experience, because then we can go into more Q&A afterwards.
Yes. And so going into the experience,
Yvonne, I'll share about my podcast.
I'm excited
over
for you to
email.
start it. Yeah. It's going to be on your newsletter, right?
Yeah. In a few weeks, we'll get started.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the hypnosis, what I invite is everyone finds a comfortable position. You can do it sitting, you can do it laying down. If you have headphones, that is the best, because it contains the sound. And all you need to do is follow the sound of my voice. You don't need to try to do anything. Just follow my guidance. It's normal for your mind to wander. If it does, you just bring it back to the sound of my voice. So you can get nice and comfortable. We're just going to get the audio set up here and get that working.
Yeah.
Oh, and I should say also what I'm doing, advance the computer audio. Yeah.
Can you right now? They can hear you.
They can hear me. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to be working on the brain gut connection. Okay. So this is going to be focused on digestive health, on the nervous system, on soothing and calming your gastrointestinal tract. And we're going to be doing a visualization. So something I can mention, your brain and your gut, they're connected by the vagus nerve. And the vagus nerve is a nerve that runs from the back of your head down into your gut. And this nerve is so important for healthy gut function. This is the highway of communication where information travels from your brain to your gut and from your gut to your brain. And so if you're stressed, or if there's some kind of miscommunication happening between the brain and the gut, then you can experience things like abdominal pain, cramping, constipation, diarrhea, bloating, fatigue. And this helps to really calm the nervous system so that it can start to rebalance. And we're going to be accessing the deeper levels of the mind to do that more specifically. Okay, so we're going to have to shift the speaker.
Which here?
Yeah. So if you do the Scarlet solo for this and this. And then that's it. I hope you all enjoy. Yes. Get nice and comfortable. Okay. Yes. You can hit play now. We turn the music. Yeah, beautiful. So find a comfortable position. Begin by taking a few deep breaths in and out. And as you do, begin to notice any sounds that are around you. There may be sounds inside the room, outside of the room. Just know that each and every sound that you hear will not distract you from our session today. In fact, each and every sound that you hear will only help to take you deeper within, deep into that peaceful calmness that you've chosen to experience today. Now I'd like you to find your center. Somewhere in your physical body that you feel is your center. So for some, it's in the stomach. For others, it's in the heart area. Find a place intuitively for you that feels like your center. And you're going to imagine pulling all of the energy, that you may have left elsewhere today, maybe at work, maybe in a conversation you had earlier today or your to-do list. Just imagine bringing it all into your center, almost like a magnet. This energy is yours and it belongs with you. Taking another deep breath in and out. And from your center, imagine the space that is in front of your body. And notice all of that space until the wall in front of you. You might even imagine reaching out and touching that wall in your mind. All the space in front of your body. And then come back into your center. Every time you return to your center, you can allow yourself to relax twice as deep. And noticing the space behind you. Bring your awareness to the wall behind you. And then come back into your center, where you're beginning to feel it's more familiar, knowing that this is a safe
place to be in your center. Becoming aware of the space to both your left and your right on both sides of you. And all the way to the walls on your left and your right. And then gently come back into your center, feeling calmer with every breath you take. And noticing the space beneath you, the chair, the floor, all of that space under your body. Gently come back into your center, going deeper and deeper within. Now noticing the ceiling above, the sky above, up into the stars, and maybe even beyond. Just let your awareness drift into the space above you and see how far that awareness goes. Higher and higher, where you may begin to notice a feeling of weightlessness, a lightness as you rest here. Then imagine drifting like a leaf that is falling from a tree, drifting down, 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 deep into your center. And take a moment here to notice how that feels. Now, keeping those eyelids closed, sealed, and tight, I'd like you to look all the way up towards your eyebrows. Here we are initiating the alpha level of mind. So you're going to look all the way up. You might notice your eyelids flutter, maybe a tingling sensation. Just know it's completely normal. And as you're looking up, I'd like you to take the deepest breath you've ever taken. You're going to fill your lungs and hold it in at the top. Holding it in. Feel the air press against your chest as you hold it in. Keep looking up and release the breath. Relax your eyes and imagine drifting down and down. And you can let all of those little muscles around your eyes, around your eyelids, soften. You can feel your cheeks and your nose relaxing. You can imagine like every cell, every muscle in your face is becoming so soft and smooth. Jaw unclenched. Corners of the mouth relaxed. You can let your tongue gently float. Relax your chin and spread that calmness deep into the muscles of your neck and shoulders. Let it flow down your arms. Feel your arms so heavy and loose like ragdoll arms. And let this peaceful energy flow deep into your stomach, filling you inside with a soothing comfort. Let it coat and cover your stomach, your intestines in this warm, soothing comfort. The muscles of the abdomen relax as each breath is dissolving any tension in the body. Relax your legs. Let it flow to your ankles, your feet, to the very tips of your toes, and just know that you might feel a little tingling sensation on your toes. You can allow the breath here to release any last bits of tension in the body. And just know that if your mind wanders at any point in the session, all you need to do is bring that focus back to the sound of my voice as you allow yourself to relax even deeper. So now we're going to be entering a deeper level of mind, a level of mind that you know you are capable of entering into. In a moment, I'm going to count slowly from 10 down to 1. And with every descending number I count, you will feel yourself going deeper within, or you might imagine this as sinking down or doubling your relaxation. So let's begin. 10. Feel your attention turn inwards and be present in this moment. 9. Going deeper and deeper down. 8. Feel every muscle in your body relaxing. 7. So calm, so comfortable. 6. 5. Go 5 times deeper. 4. Almost like little waves of calmness are flowing through you now. 3. Deeper and deeper. 2. So calm. And 1. Imagine yourself being wrapped in a warm, loving energy as you give yourself permission to take this wonderful break from your life. And mentally say to yourself, each and every day I'm getting better and better. My digestion is improving and I find it easier to relax. feel yourself getting better and better. Each and every day, my digestion is improving. Now, as you feel that, you may get an image of your mind of you feeling better, healthier, happier. You might get a feeling or a body sensation. Notice what arises. And today we're going to be focusing on the brain-gut connection. So as you know, the brain and the gut, they are connected by the vagus nerve, which is a nerve that runs from the head down into the gut. And this is where the signals, this is where the information is traveling from your brain to your gut, providing the responses, the information that your digestion needs to work optimally. And I'd like you to visualize your brain, the vagus nerve, and your gut, your digestive system. You can visualize the nerve like a tube or however it shows up in your mind's eye. It can be different for everyone. And as you focus on this brain-gut connection, I'd like you to visualize how do the signals that are traveling from your brain to your gut appear to you when you're experiencing digestive symptoms? How do they appear to you? If you're feeling stressed or anxious, you might notice that they appear rapid or there's a color associated. You might imagine those signals. Maybe there's blockages in the communication from your brain to your gut. Notice what arises for you. And using that wonderful, creative subconscious mind, using that imagination, I'd like you to visualize giving your body exactly what it needs to restore healthy communication between your brain and your gut. There are no limits to your imagination here if you want to imagine a healing energy. If you want to imagine that your nervous system is becoming so calm, peaceful, everything working as it should. Visualizing healthy communication traveling from your brain to your gut, healthy signals. Repairing, restoring what your vagus nerve needs for optimal, efficient, effective communication between both systems that are so important for healthy digestion, for the absorption of nutrients, for your motility, for the speed at which things are moving through you, to function in a healthy, natural rhythm as nature designed them to. Imagine those signals healing. You can even picture the cells coming to repair whatever they need, or maybe you need to rewire. those connections in the brain and the gut. You can really engage your creative imagination as you see that. So healthy signals, peaceful signals traveling from your brain to your gut. And imagine your digestion is working optimally in this moment. Imagine that your digestion is working silently, smoothly in the background to where you don't even need to think about it because everything is working as it should. You can easily digest food. Your bowel movements are healthy, comfortable. They flow through you in a natural, comfortable rhythm. Your insides are so calm, so relaxed. And you allow the intelligence of your body to make those healing changes now. Visualize pink, healthy insides. Your intestines, perfect sets of slimy passages where everything moves through them, just as they should. No more inflammation, no more bloating, healthy, happy gut. You see it soothing, you see it and you feel it calming down on a cellular level. Beautiful. Now, you can put your hand on your heart or imagine putting your hand on your heart and you're going to send yourself some compassion, some kindness, some care to your body, to you, to your beautiful self, for all the changes your body is making right now, for all that it does. Breathing it in. And in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I get to 3, you can open your eyes feeling totally peaceful in your mind and body. 1, bring your awareness back into this room, into this time. 2, allowing all the suggestions, everything you learned here today to fully integrate in the subconscious mind. And 3, when you're ready, you can open your eyes, you can wiggle your fingers, your toes, take a deep breath in and out, and gently come back into the room. Beautiful. Back at your own pace.
So peaceful. How was that for
Notice how you
everyone?
feel. You can write in the chat box how you're feeling. Maybe you noticed you felt light or heavy. Maybe you noticed a feeling of relaxation. What did you notice, actually?
I feel so good.
Yes.
So much peace. Initially, I think I actually have digestive issues happening right like the last couple days. So I think it was perfect timing.
Perfect time.
And so I think just putting my energy there, initially there's some pain. That I know because my awareness was going there, but then it was soothing. you know, it was just so peaceful and relaxed. And I felt each time you said go deeper, I really felt like I was going deeper. You know, there was like another release of tension.
Yes.
Like, and you don't realize, you think you're relaxed, but then as you go through it, it's like, I can relax even more again and again. So I love that.
Beautiful. Feeling
Yeah.
relaxed, light. Yes. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm.
So how does this, like, how do you recommend people work through healing? And, or even like some people may not have chronic conditions or something that they feel like is a digestive issue or a challenge or disease or whatever, you know, that they would be addressing normally.
Yeah.
If they just have good gut health, I feel like it would still be so soothing and healing
It is.
to do
Well,
practices like this.
yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people, we live in a society where there's a lot of stress, there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves, make money and all these things. Consciously relaxing every single day in whatever way that is helps your body on so many levels. So many diseases are caused by stress. And sometimes we overlook it as just like, oh, this little thing, but no, it's such a foundational piece, and gut health is a huge foundation to our overall health as well. So I don't work only with gut health, but I definitely love this area of work. I love how much of a transformation I see with my clients when they actually address the nervous system as well, because I mean, it's all interconnected, and how big of a shift, like they might have been constipated their whole life, and we work together a few weeks and they're already having like 5 bowel movements a day, you know, having that without medication. It's just using our body's natural ability. So it really has a profound shift.
For me, I've noticed, if anyone is in my Revitalize program, we've been talking about it, but I eat really fast. Previously, up until now. So
Okay.
I'm working on it, but it takes a lot of attention
Yeah.
to eat slower. And part of it is because my subconscious mind isn't aware that my conscious mind wants to eat slower. So when I'm able to be present, then I'm bringing that intention to eat slower and I enjoy my food more. But when I'm not totally present, if I'm watching a YouTube video or something while I'm eating, it's so easy to eat fast. Even what feels slow compared to my normal is still fast, and the chewing, you know, doesn't happen for as long as I would want it to, that it ends up, my digestion gets full, like it's just got so much workload before, like, too fast. It's got a workload that is just occurring too fast. So I'm like, I really want to slow down my baseline, like lower my nervous system, like reduce the tension.
I have a tip for you.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
I feel like I'm not alone
yeah,
on this. Can anyone relate in the comments? Let us know. But
don't eat when you're stressed, but what you can do in a very, very short time, if you are stressed and you need to eat, is to take a few really deep belly breaths. The breath is the quickest way to relaxing your nervous system. So before you eat, sit down. And even if you take like the fullest breath you can take, hold it for a few seconds, and then, or longer than a few seconds, hold it for like, I don't know, 10 seconds.
as long as you can.
Or as long as you can, yeah. And then release, and do 3 of these deep belly, like not in your chest. You want to breathe into your belly because you want to release the diaphragm. You want to relax that part. If you do 3 deep breaths before eating already, that can make a huge, because you can shift out of fight or flight into rest and digest mode really, really quick.
So that's an act that I love that tip. And if you know, I like, if anyone's read Atomic Habits, stacking our habits. So if you say a little prayer before eating, or if you say some gratitude over your food, that's a perfect time to really breathe in to that gratitude, to that appreciation with the breath. Because sometimes we say, you know, a prayer without actually taking a deep breath. And it's like a win-win, because you're relaxing the system, but then you're actually feeling it in your body so much more, the love and the gratitude. which is healing in of itself.
And it makes for like a beautiful
Yeah.
space, like to
Yeah.
create.
The recording will be available, and now
Yes.
I'm realizing how powerful that would be for even anyone who's joined us live to be able to go back and listen to that recording.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, So,
I think.
so does anyone have any questions? Because I would love to hear a little bit about your program.
Yeah.
Because there's a,
Oh, is that a
um,
question?
is there a question? The program, I've heard a little bit about it, and I'm super excited because I'm gonna be getting to work with you and listen to you and actually in person, I think. But you're gonna be offering it virtually. And so I thought some people in my community might really, really enjoy being a part of this training as well. And you have two different programs. So
I
can
have
you
two different
explain
programs.
the difference?
Yes, so I have an upcoming group 6-week gut-directed hypnotherapy program that helps people who are struggling with digestive issues like bloating, constipation, diarrhea, abdominal pain, if you're having fatigue around eating. So it's really going to dive into that. If you have IBS, this is perfect for you because there's a lot of clinical research showing this to be the most effective brain gut behavioral therapy is gut-directed hypnotherapy. So we dive deep into that so that you can find peace in your body once again, so that you can learn how to regulate your system and go in and reprogram the subconscious mind so that the brain and the gut are communicating better. We're addressing the miscommunication
Yeah.
between your brain and your gut. It's very powerful. It's powerful in a group setting. It's more affordable. And then I also have an 8-week, it's a deeper dive. The 8-week is an online program where you get 8
So
full
the
length.
6 weeks is online too, if they're.
Oh yeah, so the 6-week is live on Zoom. The 8-week is at your own pace.
Okay.
It's like a pre-recorded, but these are professionally recorded full-length gut-directed hypnotherapy sessions. And you get so much in it. You learn emotional processing tools. You learn how to rewire limiting beliefs. You learn how to fix the brain-gut connection. We go deep into repairing also your relationship with food. So there's
beautiful.
more
So beautiful.
in that one. Yeah, we really dive into it.
I also just want to mention, you listed digestive issues.
Yes.
Also, things that I'm thinking of would be like one, leaky gut might be the most common digestive
Yes.
issue. So many people have leaky gut and they don't even realize it. If you've developed a lot of food allergies, it's likely because of a leaky gut.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be something that could be addressed. And I'm dealing with SIBO.
Yeah.
And so this isn't necessarily a cure, right? But it can support the
It's
health and you're
supportive.
retraining
Yeah.
that gut mind connection in the vagus nerve. And so it's like in general, you're giving instruction to your body, right? So
Yes.
depending on your own individual needs, your instruction can be, your personal instruction to the body can be, determined based on what you need.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, it can be customizable to it. And yes, so it helps to really reduce gut symptoms. It gives you the tools necessary to address the brain gut connection. But I always recommend with anything, a holistic approach, the nutrition, healthy lifestyle, getting enough sleep. And then this is really the mind body connection where I come in, and that's where I'm an expert in. But a lot of people come to me and they've tried changing their diet and their gut is just it's just not working, or they're stuck on a very, very restrictive diet and it's just not where they want to be with their feeling good and being able to eat, without feeling horrible. Definitely.
Yeah, our relationship with food is so powerful, and it's much like our relationship with food is much more than just what we choose to eat and the preparation of the food and the consumption of the food. There's so much more to it, and I'm just really excited to see how it unfolds and everything that's included.
Definitely. We're going to dive super deep together. I've just included my website here and I'll put my email as well. Anyone can book a free discovery call with me, a 30-minute discovery call with me if they want to talk about their gut issues and how this could support them as well. but there's my website and
And we
Also-
also, in the email, you probably saw the
Oh, it's also
coupon
there.
code.
oh yes, the
But
coupon code. You
It's
get
just
10
my name, Katelin Mae.
Mhm.
By the way, if you haven't been paying attention, I'm using the name Katelin instead of just Katie, but Katelin Mae is a coupon code for 15% off either program, right? If you wanted to do either of those,
Yes, either of them.
both are online, but
Yeah.
one is live with group sessions every Tuesday.
Every
This
Tuesday,
time today, we're
starting next week at 5 p.m. PST, like Pacific, and it's 8 p.m. Eastern time. So it's starting next
Right.
week, and there's a couple spots. So if you do want them, they're filling up. So I really do recommend.
Yeah, this is an intimate
fine.
live
intimate,
group
yeah.
because she is live with us. And so we're going to be able to have
Yeah.
more communication and support, but that means it's a small group.
Yeah, and you'll be getting a lot more than what you got here. It's like a full session. It's like 45 minutes of this each week and of the hypnosis itself. So we go even deeper and it feels even more amazing. Like some people describe it's like a mind spa. You just feel so rejuvenated after.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful, Katie. I think that was Katie.
Yeah, beautiful. And celiacs, yes, it can help with that. It's not a cure, but it can help you feel better with that and help your body restore balance. Yes. Okay. Yes,
Awesome.
Katie.
Thank you so much for joining us all today. Joining all of you joining us.
Thank you.
I'm really excited to be talking more about the mind-body connection.
Mhm.
And eventually, I'll be doing things to bring in the spirit and our energy as well. But this is a holistic approach to healthy living and to our food, and our relationship to food is so much more than just the preparation and making it really delicious, which is important. But I'm excited to take everyone who wants to join me on a journey deeper. And this could be an amazing place to start. If it feels right for you, please join us. If it's not right for you, that's okay too. But I'm excited to be having these conversations in what feels like, an evolution for me and also for my business. And hopefully it's just as meaningful for you to be joining us. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you
I
everyone for
hope you have a
coming.
delicious evening.
Yes, have a beautiful
I'm going to send out the
evening.
replay tomorrow.
Yes, that's
And if you have any questions, email me. I will be in contact with Linda, of course, so I can get any of those questions answered, but she also left her email address. You can contact her directly. And if there's anything else, we'll talk to you over email. And I look forward to anyone that wants to join us for the class on Tuesday that starts. I will be there live, and I guess it's going to be Zoom. So you might see me. I'm not sure how that Zoom video will be set up, or you'll just see Linda and I'll just be in the background. You won't see me, but it'll be fun to just be with everyone who joins.
Yeah.
So
There's
thank
power in
you.
group and all coming together.
You want
for
to
the
share your
purpose.
email once more?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can send it again here.
Mine is support at the culinary gym, which you're probably familiar with, but hers is linda@gutdirectedhypnotherapy.com.
Yeah.
But gut directed always has a dash.
I'm not
in
good
it,
with the
right?
Mac.
Okay.
Yes, it has a dash in it, so I'll send it here.
Thank you everyone for joining us.
I'd love to hear from you.
By the way, I have a brand new home that I move
yes,
into on
it's
May
beautiful.
1st. I'm really excited for that. So I will be doing more cooking demos in that kitchen.
It's a beautiful kitchen.
Recording podcast and more things like this. So thank you again for being here. Love you all.
Have a great night,
Have a delicious
everyone.
evening. Bye.